السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته داود يا مالك سود دنيا كجوكتان كسر هذا برنامج كأرمها بلشدة أو يقول بعد هالكان وقبرتين برنامج كان دائما وحنا نكون قاعدين دقنا وحيالها مجتمع الصومالية قربها أما دلكي هو يجوجا لبعتوين كسوف وصار أما وحي مركز سوليوشن أو أما وحبرشاته أما عافماد هاته أما ماركتها هاته لأن يري رأيقول نرش كل عي يكوفر بدنا وناكسن caawa barnaamijkan waxaa noogu marti ah qof aada iyo aada noogu muhiim ah maxaa yeelay waa walaal maxaa lahaa islaam ah waa sheikh waa imaam magaciisana waxaa layihahdaa sheekh Khalid Yaasiin oo aad si fiican u taqaanaan somebody role model waa dadka oo dhan culays fara badanna maaragtay ilaahay fadligiisa subxaanahu wa tacaala sheekh Khalid Yaasiin that was me just trying to introduce the topic to the viewers. And what I would like to do in this program tonight is, inshallah, we'll speak English, and if you have a question in Somali regarding the topic in hand, then inshallah I will be able to translate for the Sheikh, and then inshallah you'll get answer. And if Allah says so, inshallah ta'ala. Tonight the topic aanu ka hadlayno simply waxa weeyaan dhalinyarada yaryar ee Soomaaliyiinta ee muslimiinta ee problemada fara badan haystaan ama maaragtay xabsiyada galaya iyo maaragtay what is the root cause of all these things that causing trouble. We know the youth in general they kind and they go to the schools and they learn and they behave as we all ought to. So one of the things that inshallah I'll be asking the Sheikh is, what is the root cause, what is the background of the problems that we have among ourselves, not only just for the Somali communities, but the Muslim communities as a whole. Sheikh Khalid, welcome to Universal TV, and I'm very grateful to Allah and to you that you give us this time. We know how your time is, and we know millions of people are chasing you. We're very grateful you're here tonight. Welcome to the program, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Iskawaran.
You know that word here. I wasn't expecting, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, Sheikh. Sheikh, as you know, you travel a lot and you meet a lot of different people and you hear people's and their concerns regarding the Muslim youth as a whole. Although I don't want to generalize that all Muslim youth are bad, we know that most of the Muslim youth around the world, they are amazing and they're doing what they're supposed to do, and we're very proud of them. But every now and then you hear stories and stuff. What is the background problem that we Muslim community facing in the West in terms of culture clashing, language barriers, different religions? How do you see it, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, I think that what we are experiencing here in Britain, we are experiencing the same in North America, and in my travels we are experiencing the same as minorities wherever we are, and the problem has come about as a result of social dysfunction. This is the terminology that's used in the circles of human services: social dysfunction. This is where citizens of a particular society, for some reason, they are not integrating, they're not assimilating, they're not appreciating. A lot of different confrontations and challenges are debilitating them. And the children didn't come here on their own. They're part of a unit, a family. So if there is dysfunction inside of a family, or a family has social dysfunction through isolation or cultural insistence, the children is a byproduct of that. So if there's fire in a house, even if the fire doesn't touch anybody, the smoke touches everything. You know, it's like being in a house where people are smoking cigarettes. Somebody doesn't smoke cigarettes, but they get secondhand smoke. So our youth, to be fair, as you said, most of them are very good young people with tremendous potential, and they are doing well. But people don't speak about what is good. What is obvious to people is what is bad. If I'm wearing a white thobe, the fact that the whole thobe is pressed and white and everything, but if I've got an ink spot because my pen is leaking, what the eyes go directly to is that ink. See, So as a person working in human services and working with young people and having a heart and an empathy for young people, I just want to be fair that I think we need to clinically diagnose the situation properly so that we are not blaming. But what we're doing is we are evaluating so that we can find the solution and then apply it.
Indeed.
And in this issue of social dysfunction, I think that the people who carry the greatest amount of responsibility, in spite of the fact that all of our young people who are 15 years old and older, and I'm using that as an age because 15 has a specific meaning in Shari'i terminology, that at the age of 15, young people share some responsibility. But I think that the onus or the greater part of the responsibility are the adults, the parents. And I think that the parents have to adopt and accept that part of the responsibility. Otherwise, they will be in denial and they will be blaming the children. And the children will realize at a certain point that they're not all to blame. And then they're going to blame the parents. So if you got parents and children blaming each other, then you've got confrontation and polarization, okay? And the ones who are probably going to suffer the most in that kind of situation are the children, because the parents already have their culture and their experience and their maturity to fall back on. The children don't understand, probably in this particular case, the Somali children, they don't understand the cultural dynamics. They cannot appreciate because they don't have the level of maturity. They are what they do understand by just empirical experience is the dynamics of the society where they're being raised. And without having the tools, many of them are making the wrong choices. And you can make a wrong choice one time in your life, and it can impact on the rest of your life. Sure. So I kind of think to myself that we need to bring first parents together and have workshops, real discussions, where we can pull back the scab, where we can talk straight. Because, you know, when a person finds themselves with a legal problem, if you're lying to your lawyer, your attorney, then you're probably headed for a real bad decision. And secondly, if you're not being honest with your doctor, then I don't think that I don't think the medicine he's going to give you is going to be correct, and I don't think that the process of healing is going to take place. So we need to sit down and have real discussions, and not feel that we're being blamed, but that we're discussing it to get at the real problems. And once we get at the real problems, we'll find that when we start to resolve the problem with the parents, the parents will have a much greater tool and empathy to understand what's going on with the children. Then we're going to find children are going to appreciate that parents have acknowledged their share of the blame, and then the process is going to start. So it starts with communication, open communication, real communication. And I don't think that this communication can be done between the parents and the children without an arbitrator. So for instance, I find myself in many cases doing this arbitration as a neutral party. And I'm not so neutral because I'm married to a Somali lady. So I do understand in many cases the cultural dynamics, but I'm neutral in the sense that I'm in between the parents and the children because of my mental disposition. My mental disposition is that I take upon the mentality of the young people at will. Not many people are able to do that, meaning that I can metamorphose at will and take upon the disposition of young people so that I can get into them.
Of course.
Okay. Secondly, I am an adult. Okay. I am a father. You know, I'm a parent. So I don't have to metamorphose to do that. So when I'm sitting in that arbitration situation, parents can't hide from me the real dynamics of parenting. And young people, they can't hide, okay, the feelings that they're having and the frustrations that they're going through, because I've already taken upon their mental disposition. Right. So the arbiter has the ability in that case to basically remain reasonably neutral and to basically build a bridge between the two parties. Okay, and it is that bridge. We need to build a bridge. And the problem with parents in most cases, they don't want to admit that they've lost touch with their children. They don't want to admit that everything good doesn't lie within their culture.
Right.
They don't want to admit that their children have discovered some powerful facets in this new society that the parents haven't acknowledged.
Right.
So what we need to do as an arbiter is to establish those things in the best way that we can. Sometimes we have to be raw, brutally raw.
Yeah.
It's like
to bring it out.
It's like radical surgery. Okay. If you're going under the knife and you're anesthetized, you don't feel it, you don't realize it, but this is radical surgery.
It's happening.
Well, to get to the problem of the social dysfunction, we have to be brutally honest, and we have to go under the knife of our own criticisms.
Right.
And we have to discuss not the good of this culture or the good of this culture, but where the lack of the two cultures homogenizing, meeting together. And so I think that we have to start with profound discussions, workshops with the parents, workshops with the youth, and then after workshops with the parents and workshops with the youth, then bringing the youth and the parents together to have what we call shout-outs.
Right.
Now, a shout-out is like where children have a venue where they know now that they can say to their parents what they really want to say openly. Now, we set rules of decency and respect and all of that there, but nevertheless, children have to receive a chance to say what they want to say without reproach. The other thing is that parents have to be given the opportunity to exercise their real feelings about their children without the children becoming emotional, and angry, okay, and storming out of the house. No. In this case, they can't storm out.
No.
They've got to sit and they've got to discuss it, and afterwards, you'll find that the process begins.
Right.
So where we start this at is talking. We've got to bring parents together, and they've got to throw back, for lack of an expression, their hijab. Because as long as you cover stuff up, then you're in denial, and that's not a river in Egypt.
Right, no. Sheikh, one of the things that often people point finger to is a family breakdown where there is no father figure in the house, and boys, especially when they get into certain age, they want that male figure, that role model and father figure to play with, to go places with, to talk to. They often don't listen to mothers, not all of them, just few handful ones. Could family breakdown have an impact of the young people's lives, and from there on they may go even astray and leave school and do all sorts of things that we don't want them to do? Would that be part of the problem you're reckoning?
Most certainly. I'm a product of family breakdown. I grew up without my father. I realized now that probably from the age of 15 to 25, I was still very much angry, emotionally scarred, and without balance, because I didn't take those traits that I needed, the masculine, strong traits. I didn't take those from my father. They were absent. So where did I get them from?
In society.
Okay. And I think that what we need to do in this case is that we need to go out and find and recruit the fathers. Because in most cases, the fathers are here.
Right.
They're not back home.
No.
Just that they're not in the mainstream of their child's life.
Right.
Because men have ego. And because men have ego, they don't like to be in a situation where it's obvious that the blame is theirs or the responsibility is theirs. So the men are sitting somewhere in coffee shops, watching Al Jazeera, talking about cultural, historical, political, and other kinds of things because it's nostalgia.
Indeed.
Okay, but the mothers, the mothers are in the kitchen. The mothers are doing what mothers do.
Cooking and looking after.
And so I found something very phenomenal, and it's in all the immigrant communities, but more profoundly in the Somali community, and they have a unique characteristic of their immigration to the West, as opposed to many other immigrants. And I have seen in the last 40 years all the waves of immigrant. Probably the most profound or the most unique immigration group that I have seen are the Somalis, for many ways. And I think in most cases with compliment, not with contradiction, with compliment. So, but I think what the Somali community in particular needs to take into consideration is that there are some major factors that are contributing to their social dysfunction, and family breakdown, and their polarization between parents and children, and definitely one of them has to be the fact that men are not directly involved in the domestic interrelations. Why? Because perhaps back home it was sort of aib, for the father, to be like washing dishes, cleaning the house, helping the mother, dealing with the kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's the woman's job.
That's the woman's job. Okay, but and that might work in that culture, but it doesn't work here.
No.
Okay. So I think that we need to discuss that problem so that we can correct and resolve that breakdown, because that family breakdown that we're seeing, it is not permanent and it is not irreconcilable. But it has to be recognized. It has to be recognized, and we have to come up with a solution, and then we have to begin to apply the solution.
Indeed. Sheikh, I'm very grateful to you. There's a lines jumped up, I'm told. There's people that want to talk to you. And we want to talk about the topic in hand. We don't want to talk about other things.
Yes.
And I hope you guys there watching, you speak English so the Sheikh can hear you and address you rather than me translating. If you are kids at home or teenagers or anyone else who will be able to speak, let them speak for you. And inshallah, you'll be able to talk to the Sheikh straight. Rather than me being intermediate. And hello, qofka u horeeya. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, may maqashaa? Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, my name is Khalid Yaasiin.
Can I have your name first, please?
My name is Amal.
Amal, okay. Where are you calling from, Amal?
I'm calling from Birmingham.
Birmingham, okay. Fire, the Sheikh is right here.
Okay, Masha, I've seen a lot of the videos of the Sheikh on YouTube and stuff. I've benefited a lot. Mashallah, he's spreading the message beautifully and in a way that the youngsters understand. I just got a question for the Sheikh because I would like to just ask him one question if it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, Amal, as long as it's with the topic in hand, inshallah.
And what's the topic in hand?
Oh, you haven't been watching for long, have you?
I've just tuned in now.
Okay, mashallah, no, it's good, it's good. What we're talking about is how can we deal with the youth issues that we're facing today here in the West, and what are the solutions and what are the background problems that, the root cause of all this, before we get to the solution, inshallah. So, go ahead.
From my personal experience, I've seen that the youth a lot respond to dawah. And especially when people speak to them on their level. the dawah really works, and it goes a long way, and it changes people's lives. I just wanted to ask you that when is it possible that I can ask Sheikh Khalid Yaasiin a question?
When you're ready.
Am I able to ask him right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I just want to ask Sheikh Khalid Yaasiin. In February 2008, Sheikh Khalid Yaasiin offered to deliver a lecture at a Jahiliya event in East London. His fee was agreed over the course of 2 calls and a one-on-one meeting. He saw that there was flyers with his name and Abdul Rahim Green's name on. 4 days before the conference, Mr. Yaasiin summoned Mr. Zakaria King to 750. Mr. Zakaria refused, and we seem to be on the course that he appears when he left him. However, 48 hours later, he received an email from his daughter demanding 1,500. And if he did not pay, his father would not pay.
Do you want to carry on, Sheikh? I was just going to say, where does that fit in our discussion today?
Doesn't.
It doesn't. So, Amal, I'm so sorry, my sister. Unless you have another question relevant to the topic in hand, then that is totally an entirely different topic. So, forgive me stopping you there, and thank you very much for calling. Next caller. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam to our sister. Maga'a. What is your name again?
Yeah?
What is your name again? Maga'a? Okay, and محد وين الشيخنا ودي the Sheikh is right here.
سؤال ما وديني يا واحد إذا وديو كتابك يا لميسكا.
Yes.
decoration ما قال ده ولا من ثاني صار في عن.
And كتابك حسارية she's just saying that the Quran is not for decoration. Why is it on the table? I don't know if she went on the floor or somewhere else, because in our house it's on the table, isn't it? I mean, where would you like the kitab to be, my sister, if not on the table? Oh, you're not there. I don't know, Sheikh Khalid.
If you don't mind, the sister Amal.
Yeah, Amal. Yeah.
The sister Amal.
Yeah.
She was reading. She was not asking a question. She was reading something that somebody produced.
Oh, I hear you.
Okay, so first of all, in Islam, we don't assume that some information that reached us that it has any legitimacy,
right,
until it has been tested.
You just remind me, in ja'akum fasiqun binaba.
So first of all, the sister, she should throw away what she's reading because it's subjective.
Right.
That's number one. And if she's looking for a response or something, she should start at the point, okay, of objectivity. That means I don't understand this or that. I don't take a position of this or that, but I'm just seeking an answer.
Right.
And even though this is not relevant to the topic itself, since she asked the question over the air, what I'd like to just say to the sister is that what she's reading was a spurious communication that was sent out through the email as blog vomit.
I hear you.
Okay, so Allah has ordered us that when somebody vomits into our ear, okay, that we don't take any position regarding that except to reject it, okay? And if you're not a part of the solution, why carry it, okay? It's better for you to say, that has to be a lie. That's not correct. If it disturbs or if it disturbs or aggravates somebody's character or whatever, we Muslims, we don't want to do that.
Indeed.
Okay, so I would just probably say that she should send that communication back to where it came from. Okay, or if it is something that she feels or other Muslims feel needs to be resolved, then we should bring in some people who the Muslim community considers to be arbitrators, that they could weigh the situation and come up with some kind of resolution. And if we cannot do that, then what we're basically doing is we're just carrying trash from one place to another, and Allah has ordered us not to do that.
Indeed. Next caller. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Abdul brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, brother. What is your name?
I got a question for the Sheikh.
What is your name, Akhi?
London.
What is your name?
My name is Usman, you know me. I'm here.
Oh, yeah, Usman. Carry on.
Hi, Abdul, I want to ask the Sheikh a very good question.
Go ahead.
Usman Abdulhafid.
عمي تلفونك igala soco si fiican ma ku maqlay Usman from Stonebridge.
Okay. I'm going to ask the Sheikh. We're here in Stonebridge.
Usman, تلفونك igala soco. Leave the TV alone, brother, please.
I'm not okay.
Hello, brother Usman.
Yes, I can hear Abdulhafid. Okay.
There's a gap between
I'm saying salam alaikum to the Sheikh
and the phone itself. So sometimes they wait to hear themselves over the phone or the TV before they reply.
Yes.
And the person is still on the line, and I'll be talking to them. Hello, next person. Usman, are you still there, brother?
Hello.
No. Can I take the next caller? Hello, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sister, can you speak up loud, please?
Wa alaikum salam.
What is your name? Maga'a?
Abdurrahman.
Abdurrahman?
Noor.
You say Abdurrahman? Can you speak up, please? Because we can't hear you well.
My name is Abdurrahman Noor.
Okay, Abdurrahman Noor. Have you got a question for the Sheikh?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Abdurrahman.
My
Control room ka halkan kama maqlayno samaacada. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I have a question for the Sheikh. My uncle, he passed away a few days ago, and he was in hospital, the last son. So can I fast for him both?
Your uncle passed away, and you're wondering whether you can fast on behalf of him.
Yeah.
No, we don't find anything that I recall from the Prophet ﷺ that we fast on behalf of someone who passed away.
Right.
Your fasting is a barakah for you. It is not a barakah for the other person. Your prayer is a barakah for you and not a barakah for the person who has died. What you can do for your uncle is you can make dua for him, and that dua will be the best thing that you can do for your uncle. The other thing that you could do for your uncle is that you could establish some waqf on behalf of your uncle, so that the sadaqatun jariyah which you establish on his behalf, the ajr of that waqf will go towards your uncle because you establish it on his behalf. So with dua and establishing some amal, you can do the best thing, I think, for your uncle. But we don't fast and pray on behalf of people who have passed away.
And indeed, and I hope you're satisfied. Next caller. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Hello, next caller. Right. I don't think that person can hear. Sheikh Khalid. Alaikum salam. Hello, brother. Okay, I'm told he's not there. That brother, probably he'll call back. Talking about problems that we face in here in the West, the Muslims who come from a different country. There's a lot of barriers to come over. A lot of young people, when they who were born in this country or America, when a sheikh comes from back home, sometimes they don't understand the language, and they prefer English-speaking sheikhs that understand their brethren, then can convey the message. How important is, in your eyes, sheikh, to have a lot of sheikhs that understand the culture, understand the deen, and also can convey the da'wah in their mother tongue, i.e. English or Dutch, or how important is that?
Well, I just want to demonstrate, I want to respond to the question by just demonstrating something very clearly. Which one of us would like to go to a hospital and have the doctor talking to us in a language that we don't understand? Okay, and then the doctor, through a translator, saying that he's going to have to perform radical surgery upon us, but he doesn't understand my language and I don't understand his language. Which one of us would feel comfortable doing that?
Nobody.
Nobody. So having said that, it is highly important that parents understand that children who have been in America 5 to 10 years, okay, English becomes their principal language.
Indeed.
In fact, they even dream in English. Okay, if they dream. And they are communicating their emotions, and they are putting forward their ideas in English. And of course, they're going to speak the mother tongue if they're able to do so inside the home, inside the masjid, and all of that there, and that's normal for everybody.
Yeah.
But the English language becomes the mother tongue, and I know that people who themselves are first-generation immigrants, they don't like to think that someone has adopted the mother tongue of a foreign country. But that's just ideality. It's not reality. The reality is that your children have adopted this by osmosis, just by the surrounding itself.
Yes.
And we have to subscribe to that. So the idea of having a conference and bringing over 5 or 10 shuyukh from the mother country, okay, to communicate to these children is good for the parents, but it's not good for the children.
No.
Okay, what those children need more than anything, okay, is that they need at least one person who understands their language, who understands their mental and emotional disposition, who understands the dynamics of the society, and can react and respond and integrate with them through that vehicle.
Right.
Okay, and what happens is that the shuyukh who come from the mother country may find that the children are not responding to them at all.
Right.
And they're responding to this one other person. So they don't, in many cases, respond well to that. But I think that what we need to do is step back from the table and not try to be simply appealing or to the invited people, or not sort of like be putting down the throat of our children the values of the mother culture itself. But we should want to set up an atmosphere of meaningful communication. So if a group of young kids go to a lecture or a muhadara and here's a whole day of lectures, okay, in the mother tongue, which they could appreciate the culture and all of that, but they're not getting any satisfaction, okay, or meaningful communication. They're just being there to, they're kind of like apologetic, and they're just doing this for their parents and all of that there. But when they leave, they're telling each other, you know, I don't want to go back to this. I don't even want to stay there. And so I think that what we need to do is, again, plan these kinds of events and have people involved who understand those dispositions, who understand the society, who can recommend to you that we put a component in there that basically builds that bridge of communications. And I think then we're going to get a more powerful result at the end.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. We've got more callers on the line. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Hello. Yeah, hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sister,
my name is Aliyah.
Hi, Aliyah. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, brothers. I just want to ask Sheikh Khalid a question.
Okay.
And the question is, brother, that I would like to go Umrah this year, inshallah, in Ramadan. But the question is, I want to travel with my 2 sisters, with their brothers. And the thing is that my brothers, my 2 sisters, they have brothers that we grew up together. So basically, he's my step brother. Can he be a muhram? I mean, because I'm traveling with my other 2 sisters and with my mom. Is that okay, Sheikh Khalid? I just wanted to know that question.
And Ali, thank you. The Sheikh have heard you. Sheikh is outside of the topic, but it's okay. Down to you.
It's okay. Sister Ali, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, this is not a unique question or circumstance. There are thousands of sisters in different countries who are in the same situation as yourself, and the majority of the scholars in the world today have already addressed this topic. And what I have understood that they have said, first of all, your brother-in-laws, they can never be your mahram. Okay, that's number one. They are not your mahram. They are the mahram for their wives or for their direct family members. And of course, your sisters, they also cannot be your mahram because they are women.
Right.
However, because you want, if you are making hajj, and hajj is wajib upon you, then the scholars, they said, you can travel with a group, okay, as long as you're not in khalwa with anyone, you're not in khalwa with any men, but you are in the public and you are traveling for hajj, and since hajj is wajib and binding upon you, and you may not get this chance again or have the money again, yes, you can go to hajj. Or, although they say that if you can wait until you have mahram, it is better for you. But if you cannot wait, you will not get the opportunity, you can go. But in the case of umrah, it is not binding upon you. So therefore, I would say to your sister, you should not make umrah with someone who is not your mahram, and you should not try to go and make umrah traveling by yourself. Why? Because you will violate the rules, and you will violate the rules of the Islamic adab regarding the women, and that you should wait for an opportune time that you can travel having a mahram with you.
Jazakallah khair.
And Allah, He knows the best, of course.
Allah knows the best, mashallah. Okay, inshallah. And Sheikh, if we could sort of come to some sort of solution for all this problem, sum it up for us, I'll hand it over to you, inshallah, for the remaining time.
I think that I'd like to say to the parents, I give a message first to the parents. And as a parent, and a person traveling around the world and kind of seeing the situation on a broader scale than most parents, I say that the problem and the solution begins with discussion.
Right.
Genuine, sincere discussion. Open and real discussions. Discussions between the parents. Mothers and fathers need to sit down and have these discussions with other mothers and fathers,
Right.
who are experiencing the same thing, but because of pride and cultural shame, they don't want to discuss these, and they don't discuss them. Well, you can put the dirt under the rug for a long time, but sooner or later, there's going to be a pile of dirt, and you're going to break your ankle. Okay? So that's what we say. There's a pile of dirt, and soon you're going to step on that pile of dirt, and you're going to break your ankle. So it's probably better to just not sweep the dirt under the rug, just sweep it up and put it where it's supposed to, so we can resolve it. So I think it starts with sincere and open dialogue and discussion. The next thing is parents need to set up situations where they can sit and talk with their children, with an arbitrator in the middle, an arbiter, so that we set some rules, and parents can say what they want to say, children can say what they want to say, but within the proper context. Okay. And what happens by doing that is the pressures are released.
Right.
You see? Once the pressures are released, then you'll find out that people can receive information and give information without pressure,
Right.
without undue aggravated emotion. So I think if we start out by this kind of discussion, holding workshops, having seminars, having one-on-one discussions between mothers and fathers, having fathers to get together and sit down and discuss their issues, that's one thing. Then the next thing is that we need to have the same kind of workshops and discussions between young people. We need to talk to young women and young men, and then bring those young men and women together, okay, and discuss their problems openly, because they do discuss their problems with other young men and women. Sometimes they're non-Muslims.
Indeed.
And then we take it from that stage where now we bring the parents and the young people who have had the discussions,
Together.
we bring them together now. Okay, so we can see that by the time we bring it together, we've already reduced pressure.
Right.
We've already examined the problems.
Let's not
We've
ignore.
already taken our share of the blame. Now we're prepared to attack the problem
Right.
of this social dysfunction, okay, and this breakdown of family, and the challenges that this new society has sort of like thrown upon us. I think if we take that process, and it's a painful process, but you know, every trip starts with one step, and we got to take those steps. And I'd like to say also here that I commend the mothers, because in most cases they're carrying a double load. So I'd like to commend the mothers who are carrying a double load, and on top of that, they are themselves the symbol of Islam in this country, not the fathers. If there's a symbol for Islam in this country, it's the hijab.
Indeed.
And I'd like to compliment our Somali sisters and mothers, because more than any other group of immigrants, they have retained that symbol. And they have done so in a very brave and commendable way. However, I think what we need to do is to say to our brothers, the fathers, the uncles, the older, the fathers, the uncles, the older brothers, I'd like to say that I think we need to work more upon them. Why? Because it's the absence of their voice, it's the absence of their presence that I think that has exacerbated and complicated this set of problems. And that if these men are willing to lower their pride and their ego, okay, and put those cultural issues to the side, and sit and listen and respond, and maybe every now and then a father needs to put his arm around his son, give his son a kiss, give his son a hug. Maybe you need to walk down the street with your son. Maybe you need to go with your son to some of the places that he goes to, whether it's a basketball game or a soccer game, or show up at the school to see about your son. I think that if we men were able to do that, I think we would make probably the most powerful contribution to this whole problem.
Sheikh Khalid, Yaasiin, we're running out of time, but we would really love to have you more and more. And however, tomorrow there's 2 lectures that you're having tomorrow. One in the morning from 10 p.m. to I think they meant it here 10 a.m. in the morning, but it says 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. But I think it's the other way around.
Yes.
That is taking place on Rivermet, a lecture in Reading, and the bus code is RG18EQ. Is a very important lecture. Take the entire family with you and enjoy the day. Don't worry about anything else. Be there, and inshallah you will learn a lot from this. Take the children with you, the entire family, the husband, the neighbors, inshallah. And the admission of that is only £5, which is nothing. And top of that, Masjid Noor from 6 tomorrow, 6 in the evening to 10, 11 o'clock at night. There will be a lecture by Sheikh Khalid, and that lecture, the title of that lecture will be inshallah the state of Ummah that we in today, or Fiqh al-Waqi' in Arabic. And you can attend that inshallah. There's a free parking. Be there, bring the entire family. It's very important you be there inshallah. Sheikh Khalid, Yaasiin, I'm very grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to you. Jazakallahu khair for coming. And Muhammad Bibai, Jamal, AJ iyo dadka nagala shaqeeyay intiina barnaamijka daawanaysay ama ka gaari weyday inay telefoonada aan uga jawaabno noo dulqaata intaan kaloo kala kulmi doono Cabdi Xafiid Maxamuud in kaga tagay taqwada Ilaahay iyo midnimo. Salaamu alaykum.